Pirates of the Metaverse. I don't know if you've heard of this, but ARG, get your Pirates hat ready and get ready to swear, because the one and only CryptoPapi coming on through. Good sir, how in the hell are you?
Schiller, my man, what's up? Making sure, mic check. You can
Yo,
hear me?
mic check, mic check, mic check. Love it. Yo, your background. This man's living on like a yacht. He's got the goodies behind them. Hell friggin' yeah.
Yeah, man, this is my man cave. I used to be up in the office. Probably last few times I've been on the show, I was in my office. But COVID meant my wife was also working from home, so I got relegated down to the man cave. And this cave inspires me to build cool shit all day, so I'm happy I'm here.
Yo, I love it. And we haven't caught up in so long, so I'm very excited to get into things just about kind of how your life's been, and then specifically for Pirates of the Metaverse. But for yourself, people that might not have heard about you, who are you and what are you building?
Yeah, so the first time I was on the show, I was still basically an IT executive. Spent pretty much my entire career working in technology and emerging technologies, and being really passionate about just building cool stuff with technologies. I then left my career to go full-time into Web3, partnered with my two cousins, Tommy and Louise. If you know Pirates, you know Tommy and Louise. And we built a company called Drip Studios, and the first brand that we launched was Pirates of the Metaverse.
And that Pirates of the Metaverse is, wrong slide there, something that's been working on for like quite a while here, but you guys have built this like insane community. I mean, for the amount of followers you guys have on Twitter, which is like 20,000, I feel like my Twitter feed every day is full of people rocking your guys' stuff. So how have you cultivated such a, I don't know if we call it supportive, enthusiastic is probably the correct term, but how is this kind of all shaped up?
Yeah, man, good question. Like, I feel incredibly fortunate that we have the community that we do have. I think much of the community is built on trust. If I think about why I think Pirates resonates to people, is that, we went through a bull market where lots of things were minting and lots of rugs were happening, and lots of founders would disappear the first, day two of literally minting. And I think we showed from day one that we're not here to drop an NFT project. We're here to build a sustainable business in Web3. And so if you're along for the ride with Pirates of the Metaverse, it's not just about the Pirates roadmap and when are we going to mint the next thing or when's the next airdrop. Like, we're doing lots of different things to learn and explore Web3 and figure out what it is that Drip Studios as a business can do and what's our place in Web3. And I think people resonate with us, and we're obviously super active. Like, we're living our dreams. So like, when it comes to the founders, we wake up every day to work on Pirates because we were given this opportunity by the community. So I think the community sees that, where if there's one thing that, I can't guarantee you price go up, price go down. I have no clue. But if there's one thing I can guarantee the community, and I've always guaranteed to them, is we wake up every day, we work for you, and we're trying to solve problems and try to create badass brands and hope that, something good comes out of all of this.
I love it. And doing time, and I'm curious what's kind of been changed, if anything. But when you guys came out, it was the, hey guys, everyone's about these avatars, profile pictures, etc. But you can only end up having it on one blockchain. Let's break that barrier. Let's be on different communities, outreach, and really kind of expand our pool, while at the same time building out different experiences, et cetera, et cetera. So why was that your initial vision? And potentially let us know what's changed, if anything.
Yeah, good question. So it all comes down to really exploring Web3. And we believe fundamentally that Web3 isn't about a single blockchain, a single cryptocurrency, a single way of doing things. And as you'll remember, Schiller, we were both into NBA Top Shot at the same time. You were way earlier than I was to NBA Top Shot. I got wrecked on NBA Top Shot. But if I don't pivot, right, if I don't start to look at what else is out there, I don't end up minting Bored Apes with you. and I'm probably wrecked at this point and no success story. And so you can have a very different experience in Web3. And I firmly believe if you're willing to have an open mind and you're willing to explore and you're willing to take risks and you're willing to network and meet people. And so for us from day one, we didn't want to be pigeonholed into being on a single blockchain. It doesn't matter where our roadmap went. The key to our roadmap is that we want to explore, we want to meet people, we want to find, what is the best blockchain to build a game on, because it's not like that's just decided already. So by us going to Flow, which we've done our Flow launch, we're setting ourselves up to build the game that we want to build on Flow, because we feel like, and I've given the community like all the reasons why we went to Flow first instead of Solana. We did pivot. We were going to Solana first, then we ended up on Flow instead, and that's part of like what you get when you're riding with Drip Studios and Pirates of the Metaverse. It's not that we promise something and do something else. Is that we're here to learn, we're here to explore, and things change, and we think we should adapt to the market. So for us, our roadmap is like a space map with a bunch of different things is because there's no particular order in the way that we're working things. There are things that were initially on our roadmap that we pulled back on and said, okay, well, we're not going to do this because guess what? It doesn't make sense to do this in a bear market. It's not going to bring value to the company, and it's not going to bring value to you as consumers of the product either. So that's really like the essence of what we're at. We're here to explore. We're here to learn. And as a business, Drip Studios, now we want to take on those learnings and provide a level of service to other people who are coming into the space now, Web2 brands, for example, that want to come into Web3 and want to leverage that experience to know what the hell do I do? I have a community in real life and I want to venture into Web3. I want to tap into my community in different ways. And that's what we're here for as well.
Amazing. Now, the goal of Pirates of the Metaverse, would you guys say you have an overarching one? Because I know obviously you have the world that's being created, and I'm just saying that because on the, I don't know if you were listening, I saw you backstage, but I don't know if you're listening into the interview that we just had where the Pudgy Penguin guy was on, but they were kind of talking about, hey, like if you see like our Pudgy, it's it's supposed to represent this sort of thing. So with you working on Pirates, do you have a goal of like, oh, if you see somebody with the Pirates, we expect this? Or if you hear of Drip Studios, it's not to be cliche, but oh, it's excellence and this kind of stuff. Like, do you guys have kind of like an internal goal like that?
Yeah, I think it. So first of all, the goal from a business perspective of creating Pirates of the Metaverse is to show every future customer of ours that we can build a brand, a kick-ass brand, that we can build a community, and it's to take that community on this journey that we're going on, even with these future brands. But Pirates as a brand itself, we really do see it as a potential household name. Like, that's our dream. That's how we created the characters in a way that they could apply to gaming, that they could apply to media like Netflix and all sorts of different areas. So we built a brand that we think we can explore lots of different things with. And the awesome thing about Pirates is we get to try stuff and we see, hey, like we try these marketing techniques and they work and they don't work. And then so really the goal of Pirates is for us to learn, to explore, and to prove to others that we're here as a business and we can do this. And so, Pirates is a huge example of when we talk to Drip Studios customers, they actually come to us because of Pirates at this point. Many of them are coming saying, yo, what you guys built with Pirates is really, really dope. We're trying to do the same thing. How can you help us, right?
So how does that work with partnerships? Because it felt like for a while that everyone was partnering with everybody, but it didn't seem that those partnerships brought a lot other than, hey, we're partnered. So when somebody comes to you and says, hey, do you want to partner? How do you view that? And what are things that you can offer if there is anybody that happens to be listening that could use some partnership with the Pirates?
Good question. So one, we've taken it, we've been at this for maybe 8 months, I think, from a talking to potential clients. And I can tell you now, that you will know by next week. I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks. It's supposed to be next week, but we're a week delayed. Don't hang me. Who our first partner is that we're bringing to the market into Web3. And so we don't take lightly who we're working with. And we want to see like really good intentions from a Web2 company coming into Web3 and commitment to continue to build on the brand beyond, whatever initial drop we're doing. And so, you know, our goal, right, is at the end of the day, the way we describe Drip Studios to our customer base, and if you go on our website, dripstudios.io, not piratesnft.io, is really when we are a Web3 publishing company that wants to bring kick-ass brands into Web3. Ideally, we're co-creating those brands with and we've got a new site which is super dope coming up next week, or in a couple of weeks actually, in terms of like the new way that we're messaging Drip Studio services. But as you can see right now, it's very focused on pirates. And if you scroll down, you should be able to see, I think you see some of the other brands that we're working on, or maybe not, maybe in the, yeah, I think we kept that off for now. So that'll be there soon. But the idea is that pirates have always trusted us that you can't drop an NFT project, raise revenue, and think that you can survive by just continuing to drop more NFTs to the same community. And so they've trusted us from the beginning that our business model is we're learning through pirates, but our goal is to create lots of great brands in partnership with Web2 companies, and we're getting paid to do that as a service, as a consulting services, advisory services, branding, marketing. So it's super important that pirates understand that by Drip Studios, the company, bringing in revenue through another means than just monetizing the same community over and over again, that allows us to reinvest those profits back into pirates. So they also know this. So money comes in to Drip Studios and it goes to one of two places. One, investing in pirates and growing the pirates brand, or two, servicing the customers that we've actually been hired to service. And that's kind of the business model.
So you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but when somebody comes to you, do you have some kind of a thing of like, hey, if you're building something, you need to give our pirates like utility with it? Or is it kind of, hey, like, no, this is just like a business thing where we're helping you and then we can able to, assist our own that way?
It's kind of natural, right? That the company we're partnering with wants to tap into the pirates community.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
one of the big reasons why they
Right.
came, like why they found out about us as a business. So it's natural that they come and say, of course, pirates are going to be part of like whatever we build, and how do we incorporate pirates into that utility. I'm not saying that we're going to launch another brand and pirates have like direct utility some way, somehow, but definitely the communities become a single community at the end of the day. And so we're able to work on multiple brands as a single community, which we envision at the end will be this Drip Studios community, is the way we see it. And there'll be a bunch of different products and brands that people will engage with, and we'll definitely look to like create cross kind of pollination between the different brands. And there's no doubt like we're building a game, well, the brand that comes into Drip Studios, that they're going to get that utility in the game too. Like that's easy as well, right?
So what is the game that you're creating about? If you can give us some details on it.
Yeah, so creating a really great game, as like you and I have been in Guild of Guardians from day one, and I often use that as an example because when I bought into Guild of Guardians, I knew exactly what I was getting. They were very transparent about multi-year roadmap, but this is a AAA game. This is going to be a great game. And so, last time I was here, I hinted at the fact that we were building a game. Well, now we're actually in the middle of creating that game. And so what I can tell you is, and what we haven't done yet, which I'm hoping to be able to start doing soon. But again, the way this space works is you kind of want to concentrate your content around like, specific amount of time. So if you tease something out now and then don't have something to tease out for 2 months because the development cycle is so long, then you kind of like lose the audience. So we're building up assets now that are part of the game creation, our characters that are going to be in the game, and stuff like that, that at some point there'll just be a barrage of content around Amethyst Wars, the game that we're building. So we're in this quiet time where people don't see us, but we wake up every day and put time in towards the game with our game developers. So the game Amethyst Wars is inspired by the Supercell franchise. I think I can say that it's a tower and defense game. So a classic tower and defense game mixed with some real-time strategy. So if you look at the Clash Royale, Clash of Clans franchise, that is definitely what inspired Amethyst Wars. And we think that we have great characters, lore. We're building the game in Unreal 5, which is like, it's actually very hard to find Unreal 5 developers these days. And they're high in demand because it's an incredible product that allows you to build a game much faster than like the traditional models, and the game can look really dope. And we're really good at like the creative side, so we wanted to build it in a platform that allowed us to like show off our creative ability as well.
You as a trader, does that even exist anymore? Or how is it being kind of like a founder of this stuff? Is it, I mean, obviously we talked about Top Shot a little bit earlier where you're like, yo, thank God for Bored Apes because I would have been wrecked. But are you busy trading much or anything this way at a personal time?
Yeah, like obviously my trading has gone down like 95% from what it was at. And it's not just the bear market, but that all stopped for me as soon as I became a founder.
Right.
Like, so what I do really like about where I'm at now is that I'm collecting stuff that I like with zero expectation of it going up in value. I almost expect it to go down. And I'm having fun with that. So like, you know, things that I've bought in the bear market that stand out to me is like Renga. I fell in love with the art and the potential of where Renga could go. Yes, they're being shilled by lots of influencers, and I hated that part, but I genuinely like the product, so I bought it. You know, it's down from when I bought it, and I don't care. I don't even look at the price. Utes. Well, I bought that when Solana collapsed because I'm like, I kind of believe in Frank, and he's done a phenomenal job of building a community. And I actually really liked. I didn't like the D Gods art myself, but I really liked the Utes art, so I went and I bought some Utes. And the other thing that I recently started collecting for fun, and I'm actually finding it a lot of fun, is La Liga, which is dapper product, NBA Top Shot, like all over again. I literally expect to get completely wrecked on it, but I'm not spending any kind of like money where I would be upset if it went to zero. I'm literally buying it. One, it's the World Cup. Like, soccer is the sport. If there's a sport that I've played my entire life, still am playing, by the way, I got a game tonight, and that I've watched a lot of, it's soccer. So the players, like when I open up a pack and I get Modric, I like seen him play 1 billion times. So if there's something I know about, it's that. So I've enjoyed collecting La Liga. There's no market, man. Like the market's kind of dead and there's not that many people trading, but I don't care. I'm having fun collecting.
Is it really? It's like early day Top Shot then, because the market was like dead back in the day for that one.
Yeah, there's no volume, bro. But yesterday they made an announcement and everything just started going up in price. So of course things. It was like, oh, I was collecting for fun and everything's going up in price. What is that? How is this?
Yeah, I love it. Yo, there's a couple of questions down here in the chat, so I guess we'll kind of open up the floor, guys. If you do have any questions, get into them. Checks rock. Yo, listen, rocking the Pirates meta PFP here on Twitter. Love to see it. Do you have a timeline or anything for the Amethyst Wars demo or teasers, whatever?
Yeah, like look, we're months away for sure from a demo. I would say that our goal is late Q1 2023 is to start to have some like real oomph behind the stuff that we're showing you. You know, the demo, we're working actively on the demo, but it's still the first part about building. There's two things going on in parallel. The first part is, do we have a fun game to play? So you're kind of doing that through boxes and shit you couldn't show anybody because they wouldn't even, they'd say like, what the hell? That's what you're building? It's ugly as hell, but you're just really testing the functionality of the game and is it fun to play? And then the artists, which does take a long time in the meantime, are rigging the characters, animating the characters. We do have stuff we could start showing yet, but again, we kind of want to like concentrate it. Probably around the end of Q1 is when you'll start to see a real pickup on the marketing side for Amethyst Wars.
Now, Will Turtle's coming through with the who's got the best PFP. But before we say that, scrolling through the highest last sale, because sometimes, not always, but sometimes in the highest last sale, it says, I'm pretty sure this is yours right here, sir. Is it not?
That's me. Yeah.
Yo, that's you. So, I mean, for people that are in the chat and as well, Poppy, what do you think on this group right here that we're looking at? Which ones are your favorite besides your own?
Oh, man, I'm going to get accused of like pumping someone's bags. So, of course, I have a soft spot for the tentacles. So I think any of the tentacles that you see there, like mine, are like super dope. I think there's one that stands out to a lot of people, which is Caldi's, the one with the mask.
This one,
the third one, yeah.
Yo, yeah. Nice, yeah, that is cool.
That's a one of one. I think Tommy just absolutely crushed it with that thing. And Caldi bought it. There you go for like, I still remember the day he bought it, 3.5 ETH. If you don't know Caldi, he's a Bored Ape member who I met in the space, and he's super dope. And he's got his own project and creating a bunch of cool stuff as well. But yeah, I got to say that probably stands out the most to me. And you might see versions of that in the game coming up.
Yo, Bacon, you think that this one's your favorite? Yo, Poppy's tentacles. We got the eye patch and the big brain. And actually, this is pretty clean on the suit wise.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, love it. I mean, when you guys were coming up with the traits and everything, what was this?
I lost you. Well, I lost the last question.
Sorry, for when you guys were originally creating the art and everything, what were some of the discussions where you kind of came up with the tentacles, the mask and whatnot? What was kind of like the discussions around it all?
Man, that's my cousin Tommy. He's the creative genius behind it. I don't know how he came up with the tentacles, but what I do know is that the idea of pirates as a whole came from creating these like space pirates that aren't necessarily like your traditional pirates. They're floating around in space because actually people don't know this. I can share this. Like the first idea for the game we wanted to build was actually like a battleship style game where you would load up your crew on different battleships and you would shoot over cannons and you wouldn't be able to see what the other person has on the other side. So initially it was like we wanted characters that could fit well into a game like that. But I do know that Luis, who actually, by the way, came up with the idea of these pirates, was inspired by actually Cabbage Patch Kids. So, what he did, he sent to Tommy basically this Cabbage Patch Kid and this idea of these pirates, and they came together, and that's how these pirates basically were born.
And is there anything you would have changed about how you did them?
Art-wise?
Yeah.
The only regret I have is that we had one like super dope trait, which was the exposed brain, but for zombies. And because generative art, it creates whatever it creates. What we didn't notice is that it didn't create any zombies with this zombie open brain trait. And it's like this really dope trait that's gone. But besides that, no, I wouldn't change anything. I love the 3D. I love the 2D. Like there's good things about both, and some traits look better in 3D and some look in 2D. But
yeah, for sure,
I love it. I love that we even went with 3D first, which is not that common in the space either.
Well, to be honest, though, 3D for the longest time was like, oh, that's a scam.
I know.
If you remember all like the hyper realistic shit when it first came out, everybody's like, no, don't touch it.
I know, it's so weird, eh? Like 3D just got this like it's a rug. Well, I'm here to prove that it's not a rug.
Well, so I mean, over the past little bit, we've had obviously like a crazy run here with the FTX stuff. Obviously, with Nike, we talked with the guests previously from Keensight about how I guess the shoes that they have for the artifact stuff, like their monolith was like a coupon code, and that these shoes were actually from like years before that they just slightly redid and then like renamed and upcharged more and all this kind of stuff. And it seems that there is this struggle. I'll use the word struggle between the identity of Web3 and what values there are, where again, for that interview before, they kind of talked about, hey, like the flippers have left the space where, no, to a point, maybe, sure. But like, I still think that there's, a lot of questions in the air of everything and also legalities, bada, 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 bada. From your perspective, your humble perspective, where do you think we realistically are within the NFT space? Is it still kind of like we're early, or are we a little bit more than that, where it's like, hey, most things have kind of been established and, within 2023, we're going to really see when things are finally maybe not mainstream, but have these fully working products that are used every single day?
I think, yeah. And man, we talk about this a lot because it affects like the decisions that we make in our business and what business model we go after, what we think is going to be successful in the future. So I cannot tell you how much as like a founding team, we talk about where do we think Web3 is going to be, 3 months from now and a year from now, because that's what we need to be building towards. So we're at a really interesting time where we're at this like inflection point, like this moment in time where there's finally been like, okay, we've had the first bull run. It was an insane bull run. People minted apes for $320 and sold them for millions of dollars. So the speculative side sort of is past us. Lots of people are getting crashed. Morality's down. And now we're at the point where Web3 is still trying to figure out, well, what is next for Web3? The idea of like minting 10,000 tokens and selling out in 5 minutes and raising $2 million is obviously at this point being questioned. And I think people are going to be way more guarded with where they put their money in the long run. And so, and now especially. And so it's what develops from here. What are kind of like the next metas that may come about? Web3 is not dead. NFTs aren't dead. Digital collectibles are just beginning. But the way that we present them to the audience, the way that we raise money does seem to be changing drastically. And so, do I think we're early? I think we're not early enough that you could say that, hey, buy NFTs today because you're going to have the same experience that people in 2021 had. I think those days are past us. I do even think, and I could be wrong, who knows, right? But I do think that the next bull run won't be exactly the way this one was, where, you could literally flip NFTs and make an insane amount of money. I think that the next bull run, the next onboarding of users will be more about truly experiencing the products that are being built and the brands that are being created. And it should hopefully, it's not that making money is bad, but when people are making money, then other people are getting wrecked. It's inevitable. And so I hope that we're going to transition into this period of, I think are going to be like much slower mints, less speculative, and more about the actual true utility. And we haven't figured out what's the utility that people actually want from these things. That still needs to be really, really like nailed, because it's still to this day, what project are you in that gave you the utility you expected? And you're saying, wow, yeah, this was worth $10,000.
Well, so let's talk about this for a second, because I've had the pleasure of meeting you at, I think, was it just Ape Fest? I don't know if we've met beyond that, but Ape Fest this year, we were able to meet. And I think that it's an interesting discussion, because I've heard through the grapevine that like Cool Man's Universe, for example, apparently they paid a whole bunch for one of their parties and like they ended up getting a huge hit to the treasury. But at the same time, you'll have a community that's yelling, saying, hey, yo, like throw events, do this. And you do have to kind of be like, all right, what's going to actually be the greatest ROI in terms of just, value prop, period. So general question, not necessarily about pirates, but personal view, what's your take on some of these IRL events?
So, and this is going to be a different answer depending on who you are, like where you are as a brand and how much money you raise in the bull market. But, there are projects like us that raise money in the bear market. And my take on this is that we definitely want to do a plunder fest. Everybody knows that, but it would be irresponsible of us to go and blow $200,000 of our treasury on an event that's for existing pirate holders that won't generate any revenue. Potentially has a bit of a marketing effect to it, but you're not really allowing other people to come in and experience that. So you're kind of just selling, if anything, more NFTs to the same community because they got hyped about the party. I think it's a bit irresponsible to blow like any large portion of your treasury on a party. Now, look, if you're the Bored Apes and you're spending 1% of your marketing budget on one of these parties, then I think it makes sense. Then why not? But I do believe that the in real life events, my issue with all of the IRL events today is that they're looked at as utility for holders. Whereas I would find more utility if you threw a party for non-holders and got them all to buy Bored Apes, right? As a Bored Ape holder. That's what I want. Or like throw a party and charge non-holders, but throw a damn good party. Like, look, like, Madonna, or Snoop Dogg, Eminem. Throw a party, charge a $50 interest fee to non-holders so that you can raise money, into the treasury and you can onboard new users. But like these like isolated parties, I'm not sure that makes sense.
I love the way you put that, and I never really thought of it from that perspective in terms of the getting the onboarding of the new users. Because I mean, realistically, like Ape Fest, we had people that were outside that were like, I need a +1, I need a +1. Miami looked like it was a complete shit show, and I doubt like half the people there were holders. And again, that's like speculative, but again, you only have X amount of people that are probably at those events that are holders from any collection. So to see like the streets completely lined up trying to get into that party makes you think, okay, like how many of these people are just wanting to have a good time and knowing that these guys are apparently the top dogs within that? It's crazy. And Huddle, you're saying that Miami was a shit show. If anybody was at Miami, I would love, feel free to take a minute, write something up in the chat. I would love to know how all that stuff went, because it did feel like it was something that was not maybe the most well organized thing ever. Organizers failed hard. There we go.
Damn. But and again, it's if you're the Bored Ape, okay, I think the Bored Ape has the power to bring communities together and move Web3 forward. So, damn it, man, throw a 2-day kind of like event where everyone can come and everyone experiences the Bored Ape community and all the other communities. Open it up to all of Web3. Let's have a massive party. You guys, you have the power and the money to bring people together to do something like that.
Yeah, 100%. Now, listen, Chucks, I don't know. We're getting down and gritty here, but when does CryptoPapi sell me his Blue Ape 9767 trade for my sheriff?
Man, you guys know, I don't want to look like I'm prioritizing anyone in the community. So I made a policy from day one that all of the pirates I buy, they're either for giving away whenever I feel inspired to. And we give pirates away every single week. We give a lot of pirates away. Or I put them in my vault because they're my own personal collectibles. And I don't want to choose anyone and give them, the ability to buy. And I don't want to sell my shit anyway. So
facts. Yo, I remember. Okay, do you remember the video that you had when you were like, "Yo, I'm going full time into Web3," and you had one of like the original Bored Ape hats, and then you jumped in a pool with it?
Yeah, I do.
And every comment was just like, "Bro, what are you doing with the hat?" It wasn't even like congrats. It was like, "What are you doing, dog?"
That's right. Yep. I paid a lot of money for that hat. I have to. One of them is over there, safe. The other one, went into the pool.
So what's your kind of predictions if you're going to look at it, and again, like kind of take off your founder cap for a second here and just as like kind of like an NFT collector, we're supposed to have a lot that's coming for Christmas. It sounds like you got Yuga doing stuff. We have things starting to happen with Pixel Vault moving across. The Pudgy Penguin guy again was saying, yo, just watch us. They're going to do insane stuff. Like everybody's calling 2023 as their year. Do you see much of kind of happenings or announcements coming before the end of this year, or do you think most of it's going to be pushed to kind of Q1 next year?
Yeah, I do think Q1 next year. I mean, we're only like 20 days away from the end of December, 20 something days. from the end of December. And that, there usually is this thing in crypto that they call the Santa Claus rally, and crypto's looking like it might actually do okay this month. And that's, that's not always great for NFTs, right? Like if ETH starts to moon, then you see Bored Ape start to go down in price relative to ETH. So I think maybe crypto's going to have its moment in December. It's possible, the token stuff. And yeah, I would be like, if I was a project that had some really dope stuff to announce, I think we might get over like the constant rate hikes by the time that we're getting into January, February of next year. So I think the morale will start to change. And so I do think like it'll be Q1 where I do think we're going to see kind of an uplift in the spirits of NFTs. And don't forget, right, that NFTs effectively, if you were in crypto and you were NFTs for all of 2021, you could technically say, although BTC did make an all-time high at one point, it was a very sluggish market for crypto. And NFTs was the place to be if you're purely looking at it from making money. So I think that NFTs are going to be the place to be, but this time purely from the having fun, access to utility, playing games, whatever. Like hopefully we're past it, like everything's going to moon, and that's the only reason I'm here. And I think NFTs have the potential to really mature in the first quarter, second quarter of the year. And I think we're going to figure out soon, what is this going to become? What is this new meta? It cannot be about minting a ton of tokens for a lot of money or zero royalties. Like we're at a crossroads, and I think we're going to figure that out in the next quarter of what really NFTs are in this space.
Mobile versus desktop in terms of gaming. I'm seeing people scream saying, oh, it's only going to be mobile stuff that succeeds. But I feel there's a lot of people that would love desktop games to be able to do other gaming. Do you have any thoughts on what you think is going to take the cake in terms of maybe one that's going to transcend just the Web3 space?
Well, we went with mobile first.
Okay,
that was like
interesting.
obviously a very talked about decision. But we're building a casual game, and so one of the issues I saw with too many of the games for Web3 is that they're intended to be casual, but they're desktop games, and I just don't know that people want to consume that type of a game on a desktop. Like I personally, the only games I play on my desktop are games that I'm immersed in. FIFA or Call of Duty.
Yo, listen, if they did Zoo Tycoon or Roller Coaster Tycoon kind of NFT game, sheesh.
Yeah. But some of these games are pure just casual stuff that you want to do while you're in an elevator or while you're in the can.
You know, what kind of elevator are you riding?
Right? So I feel like some of the games that were built should have been on mobile. They're games you want to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes on when you're in the can, not immersed on your desktop.
And we go from the elevator to the can.
But I do think we will see some really high-end play-to-earn games, if that's even a term people use anymore, blockchain-based games, really high-end stuff. That's going to make a lot of sense for the desktop as well.
Yeah. Question here from Chex coming with the heaters. Other than community, is Web3 a greatest potential for utility gaming? Generally agree. I mean, apart from like tickets for events and whatnot, like I think the other models are like royalties, efficiency in that kind of category. But I mean, what do you think on this, Poppy?
I think people highly underestimate fashion.
Interesting.
Yeah, like for me, the biggest reason why Bored Apes were successful was because they created this fashionable item that people are proud to flex and represent as their PFP. And I'm a contrarian when it comes to this. Most people I talk to, including people on our team, like I know I'm alone on this, but a lot of people think PFPs are dead and like they're those are going nowhere. But I kind of believe that like eventually everyone's going to have a PFP. I really do believe that. Like because PFP is bragging rights, it's fashion, it's flexing, and I just don't think people can get away from that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that still continues to live on. And we're going to get a lot less of them, but there's still potential for some of those NFTs to do great purely from a fashionable luxury item perspective. The other thing is, that's going to be a little bit of alpha, is that I really do think that NFTs have there's a place for NFTs to do good in the world. And this is going to sound cliche, but I really do think that some of the potential uses for NFT could be a very positive use. And that's the part, that's why we chose the partner that we chose for the brand that you guys are all going to see in the next couple of weeks, because we wanted to look at NFTs as a model for revolutionizing the way that, maybe charity organizations raise money. And that's a lot of alpha.
Okay, noted. This is alpha. Also, is this not like Madonna's ape or something? Am I crazy? This is sold.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. 420. I mean,
Is
that's
it?
a dope.
I'm trying to think.
No.
Oh,
Madonna's
Lizzie
ape was
Bryant?
red. Madonna's ape was red with that outfit. Same hat and same jacket. But it was a red. I'm pretty sure it was a red fur.
I was about to say we might have to talk about the fact the celebs are selling the bag. Oh my goodness. Holy.
Yeah, they'll be back when they become cool again. Like that's
facts.
That's exactly what's going on right now. It's like they don't want to be associated with something that's tanked and not cool. But as soon as that that happens again, they'll all be back.
So I know we're probably wrapping up here shortly, but in terms of what people can expect for Pirates in 2023, what do you got?
From a Pirates perspective, we really want to take the brand to the next level. And absolutely, we want to emphasize the game. So, we think that, although the community knows we're a cross-chain project and that, at some point we'll launch on another cross-chain, on another blockchain, at this point, we don't even know if it's Solana. And the community, I think, knows that and has heard me say that. We pivoted away from Solana, and it's not a given that we should go to Solana next. We're kind of exploring what's next. What's the next blockchain that Pirates should go on? And maybe, I do want the community's opinion on this as well. And so our focus is on just enhancing the Pirates brand and creating some really cool, dope shit that ties to Amethyst Wars and the game that will bring kind of Pirates together with the game itself. And I think that you will see that's what our efforts will be on. So you're going to see Pirates, in my opinion, start to come to life in this kind of 3D dimension, because our game is 3D. And so we need to make this come to life like that. From a Drip Studios perspective, you're going to see us launch our brand in the next couple of weeks. Again, super happy about the partner that we chose. So let me say this: there's been a lot of Pirates that have been wearing headphones for like 3 months. Whenever I tweeted out, put on the headphones to support Pirates. This project is the Headphones Project, and it's an incredible organization coming to Web3 for good, to do good. And I think people will be very pleased. I mean, I can't wait to show you the brand itself, because again, our creative team can create really dope shit. But also, who our partner is and why we're partnering with them and how we're going to do good in Web3 with NFTs.
Do you know you're a legend in the space?
Do I know I'm a legend?
Do you know you're a legend, sir?
That's a good question. I definitely don't consider myself a legend.
Yeah, well, listen, you're a legend in my book. I appreciate you coming by, being always entertaining and giving us all the good info. I really sincerely appreciate your time, and that we're friends within the space and excited to see everything that you do with Pirates as we're moving forward. But guys, if we can get some W's in the chat for CryptoPapi, any final thing that you want to say to your community that's tuned in right now?
Hey, God, thank you. Like, literally, thank you. I can't stop thanking you guys for your support, for your trust, for making this dream come true for us, that we get to wake up and we get to try shit, break shit. And, you've got our commitment that at least we won't stop working and we won't stop hustling. And I hope that in the end, you know what, we can all benefit from the experience.
You see, this guy's a legend. Yo, appreciate you, fam. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon, eh?
All right. Thanks, brother. Much
Yo,
love.
W. Peace, of course.
Peace.
All right, there he is. Yo, sheesh. Yo, let's go.